Here in Dallas, Texas, covering the Defending the American Dream Summit. This is Cecilia Johnson with Hood Conservatives. Nice to meet you, Cecilia.
Nice to meet you as well.
First of all, when you came up to me and you gave me your literature, I said, Hood Conservatives, first of all, you have got to get a ton of grief just for the name of the organization.
Actually, no. I get laughs. Everyone laughs at me. Conservative, Democrat, whatever. Everybody laughs at me when I say Hood Conservatives. And the only reason I said Hood Conservatives is because I'm from the hood and I'm a conservative. So
that's pretty simple.
That's the simplest way. Like, that's the only name I could come up with. And people are like, well, you need a name that's more mature and more serious. And I'm like, well, I'm going into the hood talking about conservatism and our principles. Right. What better name than Hood Conservatives?
When you talk about the hood, let's say, if I may use the vernacular, what percentage of people there are conservative like you?
Well,
is it more than we think?
More, yes. It's more than that votes our way. Like we talk when I'm out talking to people and really finding out what they believe in, they do turn out to be very conservative. Like, it's like sometimes I should be secretly recording these things because it sounds like it really sounds like we're ventriloquists, and like they're just like my thoughts are coming out of their mouth. Right. So, and it's just so sad that they don't realize that, you know, that they should be voting with what they really feel. Yeah. So we hopefully want to change that.
So it's interesting because you say hood conservatives, but you don't say hood Republicans or hood Democrats. So it's both parties, because you have conservatives in both parties, of course. Yes. But it seems, you know, to the mainstream media, and it seems that blacks are lockstep when it comes to voting, and they're very Democratic. They vote overwhelmingly for Democrats. Do you see less of that than we see in the mainstream media?
Well, when I first became, I first became a Republican 6 years ago, and when I first got into politics and Republican conservative politics, a lot of African Americans were very, like, no, because, Obama is around and we should be on the train with Obama because of whatever reasons.
When you hear that, by the way, does that drive you crazy because you're black? Because you hear about it, because we talk to so many black conservatives, and they always say, oh my God, I can't believe you're voting against Obama. Just because he's a black man, you should be voting for him. It's got to drive you crazy.
It's really demeaning in a way, like that. Yeah. I can't have my own thoughts. And I don't support anything that President Obama supports. I don't believe in any of his policies. Why would I vote for somebody who is not a voice for me? And President Obama, what he supports and what he pushes is not anything that I support and I push. And to me, so many people have died for the right for me to vote. For me to just say, oh, well, I'm just going to vote for this person because they're black. No, I really need to be educated about it, and that's exactly what my ancestors talk about. And we need to take that more seriously. It's not just about color. It's not just about race. Yeah, some people are going to vote because they're white. Some people are going to vote for this person because they're black. But to me, I don't think that that's something that we should be doing. I think that because just because he's black does not mean he has my best interest at heart. And President Obama obviously does not. So, no, I'm just not.
We were talking off camera, and you were talking, and one of the things with one of your platforms in the brochure you gave me is you're very interested in Second Amendment rights and gun rights in the inner cities. When you look at a city like Chicago, that is so anti-gun, where they're making like 0.1% of the land available to gun stores, you can barely buy a legal gun in the inner cities. Talk about the right to bear arms and the Second Amendment in the inner cities.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the inner city, and I speak mainly as part of like African American community, that is a topic that we don't touch on. If you go into the inner city, nobody's talking about guns, nobody's talking about this, but we need to be talking about it more because more of this gun violence is happening in our communities. And a lot of that is because we do not talk about it. We are not educated about firearms. We don't know, like, there's a certain mentality that comes with having a gun. And we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about it when they're young, so we grow up learning it from Lil Wayne or TV, and they're not going to teach you, hey, you should go and go to the shooting range to learn how to properly handle your firearm. You should go and take CCW courses or something. They don't tell us that, so we feel, as hood conservatives, we feel that we need to start having this conversation. We really need to start doing something different in order to change our environment, our community. earlier in the 1960s, you had the Black Panthers and stuff. Black people were historically very pro Second Amendment up until recently. Like, we were very pro Second Amendment, and we knew that we needed those back then we needed them to protect us against, like racial attacks. Sure. But now we still need them because I live in the hood, and I do need something to protect me and my 2-year-old daughter. And that's what we need to be pushing out there, especially with so many people. There are a lot of single parents the single mothers in the inner city, and they have to protect their kids as well. So we need to be talking about these things in our community.
If you could talk about it, and you could talk to your fellow residents of the hood, let's say,
yeah.
what do you say to them when it comes to gun rights and learning more about it?
Well, first it's like, you want to talk about guns? Why do you want to talk about guns with us? We're getting, like, we have too many guns. We need to take the guns off. So first you have to overcome that mentality of let's get rid of the guns, because that's what's been pushed on us. It's like, oh, let's get rid of the guns. Let's get these guns off the street. What they're really saying is let's make laws so that we can make it illegal for people to have guns in the inner city. And we have to first overcome that part of that mentality, is that, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't be putting guns in the inner city. No, you should, but we should be encouraging responsible gun ownership.
Legal guns in the inner city.
Yeah, that's what we should be encouraging as conservatives. Really, we really should be taking advantage of that, because a lot of Black people are pro-gun. They are pro-gun, but they just don't have anybody to either reach out to them, or they don't really know where to start for things like that, so they just don't go about it.
People find out more. You gave me your brochure, but you have websites and information, and this is fascinating to talking to you. I'm so glad you came up to me. Talk about where to find you online, find out more, and get your message out there.
Okay, you can find us at hoodconservatives.com. We're also on Facebook, Hood Conservatives, and we're on Twitter at HoodCons. And Rick Perry just followed us, so I just want to let you know that if you are a supporter of Rick Perry, I'm just saying you should be following at HoodCons on Twitter.
Cecilia, by the way, of all the people I've interviewed on NRA News, you have by far the coolest earrings. So thank you for that. Cecilia Johnson, Hood Conservatives. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you.